Let the games begin. Može.
So can we start after
Yes.
10th attempt to make this work? So, hello, ladies and gentlemen. Today or this evening with me is Mislav Mironović.
Hello.
Hello, Mislav. How is it going?
It's good. It's what is it today? Monday.
Today is
Tuesday. I don't even know.
You didn't. You
when
don't.
you're a freelancer, every day is Sunday, Saturday. It's free.
Yeah.
Freelance life.
Do you like that feeling?
Freedom. Yes, I mean it definitely feels good, but when you're working 5 days a week, then you really appreciate the Saturday and Sunday, like the weekends.
Okay.
But now I lost that appreciation towards the weekend because every day it's weekend for
every
me.
Day is weekend, or every day
or
is
every
a
day
working
is a
day.
working day. So it's like
a working day. So how does it feel lately? Is it that every day is a working day, or that every day is a free day?
It's about the schedule, how you make it, but it's a good feeling to know that you can make a weekend any time of the week if you need one. If you need a weekend, you have a weekend.
Yeah.
But then again, there's times or days when you just have to work like 7 days like straight. So
yeah, so you can be more flexible. You can do with your time whatever you want.
It feels better because you can follow your will, I would say.
Mm-hmm.
Because sometimes when you feel like not working, it's okay not to work. But then again, you feel really motivated over the weekend, and then you spend all weekend just working. So
yeah, so I know a few freelancers, and usually after some time, they say to me that they feel a little bit lonely because everything that they are working and working on they're doing by themselves. So did you feel that problem maybe?
Sometimes, but mostly I always try to involve somebody else in the process of whatever I'm making.
Mm-hmm.
So it actually gives me a lot of versatility when it comes to people and skills that they can provide.
Okay, so you try to make it a collaboration with someone. So you try to make it a team effort, not just your own effort. So, like every good story, maybe starts from the beginning. So I will try to start. We rushed in your everyday life, but let's try to have some kind of a form. But it's not the idea of the show. But let's do it maybe this time. So can you tell me something about your background, about your beginnings, your story? Where have you been born? In which country, in which city? Can you tell me maybe a little bit about your childhood, about your parents, about your siblings? So where do you come from?
I come from my mama. I was born in 1985, so it was still Yugoslavia, which I'm really proud of. I don't know why. But I don't know. It feels good.
It's funny to hear it
to
from
be
you.
Part of Yugoslavia. And I was the first, I would say, class that didn't have to learn the. Actually, I was the first class that wasn't pioneers.
Mm-hmm.
So after that, actually, when I start going to school, I also start training gymnastics.
Mm-hmm.
And I was training gymnastics for 6 years, which gave me a great base for whatever was waiting for me in the future when it comes to movement and awareness, like body awareness, air awareness. And but also it was kind of perfect match for me because I like the idea of team, but I like to be responsible for my actions. And when there's a team, like I think you need to change the whole mindset when it comes to responsibility. Then you have to be responsible towards your teammates, not towards your kind of actions, but it's like it's vice versa. I don't know. It's too complicated to get into.
You need to balance more things then.
But what I wanted to say is like I really enjoyed gymnastics because it was like how much you.
So when did you start? How old are you?
I think I was 6 years old.
6 years old.
Yeah.
And you did it for around 5-6 years.
6 or 7 years.
Okay, so it's yeah.
Or I think maybe I even started before school. I'm not sure. I don't remember.
Whose idea was it?
It was my parents' idea since I was they say like hyperactive. But if you ask me, every hyperactive kid, it's a normal kid, right?
Yeah.
If you see a kid that it's calm and that's what every parents want.
Yeah.
It actually, I think there's an issue.
Like, there's something wrong there.
Yeah, like,
for sure. Yeah.
So their way of handling with that issue was just let's put him in a gymnastic hall and see what happens.
So you needed to do something with that energy that you were.
I guess, yeah.
Having there, yeah. So your parents concluded that because of your high energy that you will be a fit for some athletic performances, or was it just random thing? Let Mislav do something and it was blow out his energy a little bit.
Yeah, it was just like let's put him on gymnastics. It's like playing when you look at it, and if you ask me, it's the best base for whatever comes in future because there you learn how to be patient. You learn how to act and react and how to move and how to climb or fall or flip or whatever. And sport is just a perfect platform to learn about life.
Yeah,
because it's exactly it sport shows you exactly how life is. Like you can train and be strong for 10 years, but if you stop, you're weak again. So it gives you the understanding like how life works. And I wasn't aware then, of course, about life and anything, but I think my parents were, so they were like let's put him in a gymnastic. He's gonna he's gonna spend his energy there, and he's gonna be flexible, and he's gonna learn how to fall and jump and flip and this and that.
Just like life. Yeah.
And they weren't aware of what actually they prepared me for.
Yeah.
And after that, of course, they actually before that they taught me how to ride a bicycle, and later on I just combined those two things, and here I am today.
Great. So did you grow up maybe with some siblings? Do you have a sister? Do you have a brother?
I have a sister. She's 5 years older than me, and I think I always said that I'm kind of a black sheep because girls are always, when it comes to parents, like, oh, she's a girl, she's telling the truth. And you're younger, so she's older, so she's telling the truth. So whatever happened, she was always right. Yeah. And I was a second child, and I think every parent is raising first child. Maybe they are too cautious towards the first child, and the second child, like they just understand. Oh, that's how kids are. And I think the second kid is always more it's not so sensitive, I would say.
Okay, so they give more freedom to the
Yeah,
second child.
and now when you look at it, it's like
yeah, it is.
It is like that when you compare me and my sister, which I don't say that I'm better and she's worse.
Yeah.
It's just it just gives you a different way of approaching life.
Yeah, I agree with you.
Yeah.
I'm the first child, and my brother is the second child.
So you're the sensitive one.
Yeah, yeah, but I try to really break out of my comfort as much as possible, and to do something that I thought was not possible yesterday. So I always stretch myself, and I always try to grow.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, I think that it is a problem that with parenting when the parents try to overprotect their kids. And if nowadays in Croatia it is becoming normal for people. They're not kids anymore. For people to live by 30 years old with their parents, and it's not good thing at all. So for me, one day when I become a parent,
become when you become a parent.
Yes. So it is of course a problem for kids and for the parents, because they try to overprotect their children, and they are just doing them a disfavor, not a favor, by doing something like this. One day when I become a parent, my first job, my top priority will be to really make them independent as soon as possible. So this is something that I will try to do. So would you say that your parents did something like that with you?
I'm not sure if it was their intention or not, but I feel like they never stopped me from doing whatever I want. But then again, I never wanted something which is stupid and not smart. So I'm not sure who's responsible for that. Of course, it's them, because maybe the way they raised me before I was aware of what I want made me want only the things that are like logical and made sense. Either though riding bikes back then didn't make much sense, but they didn't said no. So they really, I never felt like they're stopping me from doing whatever I wanted to do. And they were always here when I crashed to pick me up. Like literally and figuratively.
I saw a video of your grandma crying. Begging you, stop, Mislav, don't do it again, please. You're going to break yourself.
Yeah, I think I was kind of her favorite. I mean, she said she loves every. What are we to her? What am I to my grandma?
I can remember the word.
What's the English word?
Yeah. Okay.
I was.
You have your kids.
I was the youngest, so that's why she was really protective towards me. But then again, she was my grandma, and I didn't take her seriously. Of course, my dad was my mother. She was always like loud, but my dad was never loud, but he always said, when he said something, I knew that like he means it. So
yeah,
I don't know how that happened, but I think he was always the man of his word. So when he says no, I had to listen. And my mother, she was loud, and like sometimes she told me things that she didn't mean to, because she was affected by, I don't know, my way of acting or whatever. And that made me, I guess, not respect my father more, but be more I don't know,
to work with him alongside to do.
It's not that I don't respect my mother, but I feel like I was
Your father has more authority over.
Yeah, I think it was the authority game.
Yeah.
So whenever my mother said something, I was always fighting with her. When my dad said something, I just said, "Yes, sir. Sir, yes, sir. Your word is my command, sir."
Yeah, it is usually like that in most families.
Yeah.
Why I want to talk with you a little bit about the parenting, because I think that we are a product of several things. First of all, there is genetics involved, of course. Mm-hmm. Second of all, there is a parenting, which for me is maybe the most important thing regarding the product that we are. I think mentally, the product that we are, how we think, what is our attitude towards life, how do we behave, and things like that. So it is genetics, it is parenting for sure, it is our environment, so society that southern society, near society that we are part of, it is media, it is formal educational system. And I think that maybe the most important things that we need to get to go through life with more tools, with more weapons, we really get from our parents. I call them soft skills. So the way emotional intelligence, social intelligence, the way we communicate, the way we hold ourselves in relationship with others. So it is really, really all coming from parents and from parenting, and we don't listen to them. We are just copying them because we are watching what they are doing, and we are doing the same. So, do you agree with me? And what are your thoughts about it?
I think when it comes to genetics, I believe that genetics can define how you physically look.
Okay.
But I don't believe in genetics can define how you act or how you do whatever. So I believe genetics are, when it comes to physical look, of course you're gonna look like the genes from your parents
or your post.
But then again, if you're raised by some other family, you're gonna get every
mindset,
skill or mindset that they have. So I agree that parenting is the most important thing when it comes to being a person. Like the way you were raised, it's like it can affect your whole life, definitely. And I always said when I was when I had with my ex-girlfriend, I always said like the way we act now, it's actually we are raising our kids right now before we have them, because the things you do every day, it's gonna you can be aware how you should act towards your kids, but they're gonna, like you said, copy the things that you're not aware of at all. So for me, having a kid is definitely the most, like, the biggest thing ever, and I look at it as the most proud moment of my life, because when I will get a kid, my life, of course, it will be important, but I will focus on their life as much as possible, because what you do in those first few years of their life, it's gonna create their life in their future. Sure. So I think there's a lot of maybe responsible parents, and maybe kids are just kids for some. But then again, being like too cautious, like how you're gonna do this, how you're gonna do that, it's also a bad thing. So whenever you go to extremes, it's bad.
Yeah.
But I think it's really important, and I cannot say much because I don't have kids yet, but their childhood and your the way you act towards your girlfriend or wife, like everything matters.
Yep.
Like and that's the thing that I'm trying to say right now, because some things that you're not aware that can have effect towards your kid, it maybe it's gonna have the most effect at all.
Yeah.
Out of all.
I see from your words that you cannot wait to become a parent, or is it a challenge that you will gladly grasp and make it your biggest project maybe?
Two years ago, I felt like I wanna take care of someone, and that's when I got Echo, my dog, and that I can see the way I think. It can be really seen in the way I interact with my dog, because my dog, it's not just a fashion thing or accessory or whatever. People get like animals because they're cute, they're nice, and this and that. I'm really happy that I'm a freelancer, so he is with me 24/7. And people who watch me interacting with him, they like. Last couple of days I got I don't know how many messages, and people told me like, oh my god, your dog must be the happiest dog ever. And I'm like, why do you think that? And they said, well, what you do with him and how you like invest in him, and he's just a dog, it must be amazing life for your dog. So I think just looking at my interaction with my dog and how much he's important to me, I can just imagine what's gonna happen when the kids come. Yeah. I'm really gonna invest everything I've got into them, because maybe it's because I wanna pay it back, because my parents invested everything they have in my sister and me. So
and I think that it will be a blessing one day to really shift the focus from yourself and from your egoistical needs, and
it's exactly
what I will do next.
It's exactly what happened
for me here. And when you shift focus from yourself and you're not important anymore, and you put it on another human being, I think that it could be relaxing in some way.
This is exactly what happened with Echo, because before him I was always like, oh, me, how I look, what I do, where I'm doing it, what other people think, and this and that, just normal, regular, crazy thoughts that go through your mind. And after I got him, like, that wasn't important for me at all. It was just like, okay, what he needs to live a good life. And it made me more wine, maybe a little bit later. And it made me, I would say, more normal.
More normal.
Yeah, normal. More normal, but I don't what normal means anyway. But I felt like I was actually more me with him
more grounded
than before.
More grounded,
It wasn't a question of being grounded. It was more a question of being more me. Just that.
Interesting. So let's try to develop your story a little bit more. So you talked about your parents, about your sister a little bit. So she is here, and she is of course a big part of your life also. Could you maybe talk a little bit about this period a little bit more, and especially your relationship with education? So how was it? How was your relationship with school, with all the chores that were also surrounding this activities, and did you maybe then see the importance of really self-education, or it is not important to you at all even now? So what is your relationship with education from your early days to now?
I wasn't the best in school, of course, but I wasn't the worst as well. I always had issues with reading. I didn't understand, like, why do I have to read a book when I can watch a movie about it or a cartoon or something like that. And it was weird. Like, I was good with mathematics and physics, but everything else, like Croatian language, I went to summer school in how to say, primary school? Was that?
Elementary school.
So I wasn't really aware of knowledge at all, or the whole idea of learning, until I went to high school. Elementary school was just it was the most fun out of all. Like it was. Now looking back, I had the most fun in elementary school, just because I had such a great friends there, and we were super connected, and it was just fun. Elementary school was fun, and I think I learned more about interactions than what I learned about like knowledge. Of course, you learn how to write, you learn mathematics and like basics. But the real knowledge comes later on, when you get interested in something. And I started riding my bike when I was almost before the end of elementary school, and then I went to a technical school for high school. And there I also had issues with school. I really had bad grades, and the first awakening for me was when I got a title, like a professional athlete title in my school, which gave me permission to make a deal with professors to have like exams and everything they wanted. Like, how do you call when they pronounce your name and they want you to they want to ask you a few questions, like blitz test or something like that. You know, like in our schools they just call your name. Okay, let's see what you know, and then they give you, of course you're not ready.
They bring you out in front of the whole class.
Of course,
and then, of course, it's
with this title, they couldn't do that to me.
Yeah.
So I was protected.
Yeah.
So I started to go to school without any fear of getting bad grades, because nobody could surprise me, and I didn't have to learn for that certain day. So when they pronounced my name, I said, well, I have a special treatment, so I'm gonna answer you those questions in 5 days. And then they said, okay. They looked at my paper like, okay, you really are an athlete. So, okay, I'm gonna ask you next Tuesday. So I had like 5 days to learn what she wanted me to learn, and I actually learned it. And then I answered all the questions and I got good grades. So that was the first time when I realized, why isn't everything like this? Like, you want to ask me this? Like, the goal is to learn. And if you say you're gonna ask me some questions, I'm gonna prepare myself and I'm gonna learn it. So after that title, my grades were great. I started to have great grades. My parents were happy. I was happy. I didn't have fear of school. So everything changed, and I kind of started being responsible and thinking about what knowledge is.
Mm-hmm.
And after high school, and the biggest knowledge actually I got from riding my bicycle. It sounds weird, but my bike taught me, first of all, how to speak English because I started traveling.
Yeah.
Second of all, if you want to learn something, how much you have to invest.
Yeah.
It learned how to lose, how to win, how to make friends, how to everything. It's a perfect reflection of life. Like you really need to train hard to be able to compete with competition. Then again, when you think you're the best, there's always someone who's gonna surprise you.
Mm-hmm.
When you think you're super safe, you're gonna crash.
Yeah.
When you crash, you have to get back on your feet, go through surgeries, go through all that, and it makes you a better and stronger person. So after all the issues, I remember, and especially my sport was kind of dangerous, and I remember one day I was getting a visa in US Embassy, and the security guy saw that I was wearing Sunto watch, and he told me, well, you must be doing some crazy sports, right? And I'm like, well, how do you know? Well, I can see you wearing a Sunto watch. Nobody wears Sunto watch who's not into like extreme sport or something like that. And I said, well, yeah, of course. And he told me, you know what? I respect you so much because like doing something that it's extreme on a such a high level, like you cannot do that if you're not like completely aware of yourself and others and the way life works. So it teaches you, like the sport teaches you everything, and he knew that. I kind of knew that, but being aware of what others were telling me and comparing my life ups and downs with everything else, it kind of taught me the most, I would say.
So let's dig a little bit deeper in this your your career as an athlete, as in extreme sports. So you were riding a bike, but what kind of a bike were you riding?
So I was a professional athlete in mountain bike freeride. Mm-hmm. Which means riding a mountain bike but doing tricks and stunts and flips, which was back then just something new, and now it's all official with FMB World Tour. And but when I started, it was like the jumps were like 2 meters big, and
really,
and that was like I was totally okay with that because it was kind of safe and like okay, like you just need to do
on a global scale.
Tricks. Yeah, it
really?
was, and the backflip was the biggest trick, and it was
cool.
And I was always 1 year behind the best athletes, so I always thought, wow, if I only had a power to pause the world for 1 year, then I would be the best. Because whatever they knew, like they learned, it took me a year to learn, and then that was my issue. But today, the sport is on another level, and now those 2 meter jumps are actually 10, 15, 20 meter jumps that I'm.
Oh my god!
That I just it became too crazy and too dangerous.
Yeah, so but they had an advantage over yourself because. If you know that what people say that you are an average of the 5 people that you spend the most time with, so I don't know if you had maybe people around yourself that were doing the same things and doing them or wanted to do them maybe on your level that you are trying to do. And of course, I don't know, the people in United States, there are a lot of people, so USA have around 400 million people in population. So of course there will be more people interested in something like this, in extreme bike ridings, than it is here in Croatia. So nevertheless, you were born here in Zagreb, so Zagreb is the capital of the Croatia, and there is around a little bit around 1 million people are living here, but you cannot find, or maybe you can tell me if I'm wrong, you cannot find a lot of people who are interested in those kinds of things.
I was definitely the first who was riding mountain bike freeride professionally, so I didn't have much friends around me, and the ones I had, they weren't able to travel with me or to ride with me, because when I started college, I stopped studying, and then I decided I'm just gonna ride my bike. And my friends were younger than me, and they were still in high school, so they had to be in school, and I was the one who had I had bikes, money, and time to ride, but I didn't have who to ride with. So that was kind of an issue for me. So I started traveling to other countries, and since I was the first here, of course there was no jumps, no skate parks, nothing.
No infrastructure.
And first I thought that's not really good for me. But these days, like now, I think that's the best thing also that happened to me, because of course in States you have all the parks and you can be the best athlete. But what I realized is, since I didn't have any jumps, I learned how to build jumps. Since I didn't have any photographers, I became my own photographer. Since I didn't have any videographers, I learned how to film.
So along the way, you were developing a lot of other skills that are not.
Yeah, because like my sponsors, they needed photos and videos, and they wanted me to be in magazines, and nobody would do it for me. So I had to take photos of myself, make videos of myself, reach out to magazines, find a way to talk with potential sponsors and promote myself. And it was hard, and of course maybe I was supposed to spend more time riding than doing those things, but all of those things gave me a job that I have today.
Yeah.
Because
but do you think do you think that you will be much better in your sport, that you had the privilege to focus only on that segment?
Definitely. I mean, first time when I went to States, in 2 months of riding there, I learned, I don't know, like I became 5 years better. Like what would take me 5 years in Croatia, I managed to learn
when you focused and when you surrounded yourself with the
of course with the best athletes in the world, and you just copy, and I was like a sponge. I was just I was just using everything I could, and but then again they also told me like, oh my God, we can't believe you learned so much in 2 months. How is that possible? And the reason for that is like when you don't have all the conditions and somebody gives you a condition, you really appreciate it, and you're going to take 100% of it.
Yeah.
But when all those conditions are everyday life for you, you're not going to be aware of it. It's the similar like the weekends for me now, you know. I have every day can be a free day or working day for me. So because of that, I'm not aware how good the weekend can feel.
Yep.
But if somebody took that away from me, or when I was working for a marketing agency, I couldn't wait for the weekend, and the weekend was so precious to me. So I really used every % of it.
Yeah.
So it's the same with sport. Since I didn't have the conditions, I was really using the conditions that I didn't have. So everything, you every condition you can take as your advantage. If not now, then later on.
Yeah, this is the best attitude that you can have.
I think it's the only way you can stay normal. I don't know.
Yeah.
Because I mean, you watch the Slumdog Millionaire, right?
Yep.
It's kind of a universal thing that happens to everyone. Something you learn today, you're gonna use it for sure later in your life.
Yeah. So your sport really gave you a lot in life. It really gave you a lot. And one of the biggest things that I wanna promote in this show is really the way to find. You said that you need to have a lot of self-awareness to make it in your sport and to make it in life in general. So it is a really big privilege to be self-aware and to be in this position to find something that you find in your early days, to find the thing that you are really passionate about, to find the thing that you are really good at, to find your element, to find your strength. And it is the most important thing to really find out in your childhood, in your early adult life. And when you do something like that, the time just goes by without you even noticing. You are in the zone, you are focused, you are doing the things that you love, and you are of course, when you feel that there is a progress, that you are growing, you are feeling absolutely fulfilled with everything that you do. So do you have maybe some kind of advice for the people listening? How can you find your element? How can you find your thing, your purpose? I don't know. So it was for you, it was bike riding. So it really surrounded it surrounded everything that you do in your life.
That's a hard question, but a good one. I'm still struggling with. Well, now I'm actually struggling with finding my next niche, I would say.
I will just stop you for a second, and I will read to you your words.
Okay.
And you said during an interview in one publication, now I am sad that I did not wish for more because I accomplished everything I wanted. I figured out that the size of your goals is equal to your confidence, and I wish I had more confidence before. Now I believe I can accomplish whatever I want, but the real question is, what do I really want? I'm trying to find that next obsession that will create a new life, a new career.
Exactly.
Yeah, so this is something that you said, and I was always jealous of my cousin.
Mm-hmm.
So my cousin, he lives in Munich, and when he was 11 years old, he knew that he wanted to be a graphic designer. And he just started reading books about it and going in that school. So he was specializing in this, and he was doing part-time while he was in school. He already did on a black market something in this field, and he really became really good at it. And right now he's a designer. He's not a graphic designer anymore. He's designer, period. When you look at the phone, he knows the design. When you look at the car, he knows the design. He feels it. When you look at the clothes, the interior. So he's the luckiest man alive. Yeah, and he is doing it since he was 11 years old, and right now he's 33 years old. And the energy, the enthusiasm towards it didn't diminish at all. So it is a fucking big privilege to find something like this early in life, just like you did with your sport, with bike riding. How to
where
do something like
start?
this?
Well, first of all, now I'm trying to find a similar thing because I kind of stopped loving cycling world because all the injuries I had, and I talked about the same question with my friends who have the same issues, and we always have a debate about, is that actually possible now or not? Because when we were kids, we didn't have many obligations, so we were more freely to experience and just to go by the feeling and follow what our heart wanted. So I'm not really sure if that is possible right now, because now I have many obligations that I have to do, follow, earn money, pay bills, and this and that. But back then I was free. I didn't have to care about anything. I was just a kid who was responding to actions.
You were playing.
I was playing, and when I was playing with my bike, I was the most happiest. I didn't. I wasn't hungry. I wasn't thirsty. I was lost in this world, and I was just thinking about my bike, and that was enough for me. That I didn't even think about, okay, this is what I want to do. I just started doing it, and I never stopped until I got all those injuries, and then I started hating what I do because it was just painful. But maybe again, it was parents who never said no to me when I wanted to do something. So I don't know, maybe if they encourage you to do and to test while you're a kid, you find something that you're really good at. And sometimes I even ask myself, maybe I was riding my bike because the feedback was really fast and I was actually good at it. So maybe I fell in love with being good at it. So I even asked myself, well, did I even love cycling, or I loved that I was good at cycling? Yeah. So I don't know the answer. I think it's a mix of everything.
Yeah.
But these days as well, when I do something, when I try something and there's a fast feedback, I kind of start loving it, and then I realize, well, actually, I love the idea of me doing something really good, not that thing at all. Because now I don't even know if I'm photographer, videographer, if I am editor, if I'm a creative director, if I'm an artist, or if I'm a stop animator, because I use all those things to express my ideas. So maybe it was similar with biking. I had an idea that I wanted to express with riding. So it's a complex question, but I think you will just know when something is definitely for you. Why? I don't know, but you will just feel it, and it will become the most important thing for you. And then if you start just doing it, you're gonna become good at it, and then it's gonna become, somebody is gonna notice it, and you're gonna become it's gonna become your life.
Do you know that 80% of the people really live their lives like that? They don't know what they want to do. They are working every day. They're going every day on jobs.
Oops, my dog is mowing. Sorry.
They're doing every day the work that they don't like, maybe that they are not good at all, and the days and the life just goes by, and it is really big privilege to have something like this in your life. And maybe you can make a little bit of comparison right now. So can you think about the days that you were on the top, the sponsors were calling, you were you were doing a great job in your career in bike riding, and can you compare it maybe with the feeling? What was the feeling then, and what is the feeling right now? Because our careers really use up a lot of our time, and if this big part of our life is broken, I think that we could not be fulfilled. We cannot be a human beings that could be really beneficial for your nearest surroundings, for your girlfriend, I don't know, boyfriend if you are a girl, wife, husband, parents, or children, or whatsoever. So if you know that we sleep 8 hours and by night, and you have 16 hours, and you spend at least 8 to 10 hours a day trying to make a living, working something, so it would be really, really nice to do something that you are good at, and to do something that you are passionate about, that is really your element, and that the surroundings can really benefit the most out of your work.
Is there a question now?
You can comment on it. So what is the difference in feeling of being fully passionate about something, being in it 110%, and right now trying to find your next obsession?
Well, I have to say, I'm lucky that I had that feeling once, so I actually know what I'm looking for. And I always ask myself, well, first when I was asking myself what to do after riding a bike, and I wrote on one side of the paper what I know, and on the other side what I love, and I was just mixing those things together and trying to see what job would give me exactly the maximum out of those two things. So you
were looking for that feeling again?
Yeah, I was looking for that feeling, and I have to say, the closest thing that can come to biking is actually Red Bull, and I really live for Red Bull. I get free Red Bull. I still buy Red Bull. I promote Red Bull. I believe in Red Bull and what they are doing, and actually I always say what we are doing, because I see myself as a Red Bull, and even if when you write my name to Google, it gives you Mislav Mironović Red Bull.
Yeah.
So I really believe in that brand, and that kind of is my obsession right now. So and I'm lucky that I can still work for them after being their athlete. So that is the closest feeling when I'm creating something, because I love like those creative things, and especially when I'm creating something for them. That's the closest thing to what I was feeling before. And just a comment comparing those two lives, like the life when you know what you're doing, and the life when you're trying to find it. And you mentioned a lot of people are not like happy with their jobs, etc. I would say try to make some money and put it on the side, so just to give yourself some safety. And I always said my idea is to put money on the side, so if I don't like the job I can quit and at least be 3 months without any like thought or care, and I can do nothing, or I can run for 3 months or whatever. Like it gives you a security, and whatever you do, try to find that something that gives you, I call it perpetuum mobile, because when you do something that you love, actually doing that gives you energy to do more of that, and it's a never-ending story. So once you find that, and even if it's the craziest thing ever, just start doing that. And I always describe that as find something that you love. If you're in that position that you're doing a job that you don't like, then do that job 90% and do what you love 10%. As you get better in what you love, the percentage will become bigger and bigger. And once it goes over 50%, then quit your job and start doing that.
Yeah.
And then that will become your new career.
Yeah.
And it's exactly what happened to me. I was, after stop riding my bike, I moved to New York City and I didn't know what to do. And I asked myself, okay, why did I become successful in riding my bike? Because I was doing something that I was obsessed with. I loved it, and I was just doing it without any expectations. So I said to myself, well, do the same. And I just started playing with cans, taking photos and playing with my creativity. And suddenly Red Bull started taking those photos, posting on their social media. And after a few months, they offered me a job. So when that became 51%, I put all my chips in, all in, and now that is my job.
So what is the thing that you identify yourself with this brand? So if you could describe Red Bull in, I don't know, 3 keywords maybe, or 3 words.
Gives you wings.
Gives you wings.
Exactly. Yeah. I know it's a.
Why do
it's a quote.
Identify? Yeah.
I know it's a quote, but they really give wings to people and ideas. And when it comes to that,
what is the meaning behind this term? It gives you wings. It gives you freedom.
No. It gives you
power. Freedom.
When we go back to me being as a kid, so I was a good bike rider.
Okay.
But I was still in school and this and that. So Red Bull came to me and to some other guys, and they told us, well, ride and we're gonna help you as much as possible. We're gonna give you support. We don't need anything from you. So Red Bull was giving me like money to go to competitions, to go training. They were buying me parts and bikes for free, not asking anything in return. And that was their investment. For them, it was maybe nothing like money wise, but for me, it was like
everything.
It was everything. It was the wings that they gave me. They gave me, like, I had an idea. They said, okay, we're gonna if this is your idea, we're gonna give you wings to reach that goal. But once you reach that goal, then you become a Red Bull athlete, and then they get the payback for everything that they give you. So they didn't reach out to me when I was super successful and the best and whatever. They reached out to me when I was nobody. And imagine, for example, you're doing those podcasts now. So imagine that Red Bull now comes to you and asks you, okay, what do you need to have the best show ever, to have the best studio, to be the best you? What do you need? And then they gave you that.
Yeah.
And they don't ask anything in return.
Sounds super great.
It creates such a respect for the brand that that it's not, I don't know, it's
wow.
It's crazy. Yeah, when you experience that, you become thankful for life.
Yeah. Can you maybe talk a little bit about this first encounter? So, how did it came about? Did they see some of your work?
They saw us riding outside in the street, and they reached out to my friend and they asked him like, hey, can you guys all come together and we can all meet in
somewhere here in Zagreb?
In Zagreb, yeah. And then one day there was like 10 of us or 15, I don't know. We met with that one guy who was an athlete manager. And he said, well, I'm from Red Bull. I would love to help you. I see that you guys are doing a really good job with riding, doing tricks and all that. Maybe we can collaborate. one day, and he gave us, like, there was 15 of us. He gave us like a pack of Red Bull, like 24 cans. Like, so each kid got like 1 or 2 cans, and I was the happiest kid ever. So after a few weeks, months, that number of us came from like 15 of us to like 4 maybe of us who had a close relationship with Red Bull. Then that number came to 2, like my friend and I. We start traveling with Red Bull to their events, doing shows, and later on my friend stopped riding, so it was only me, and then I got my helmet, but that was a process of like five years.
Were you the first Red Bull athlete in Croatia?
No, there were 2 or 3 athletes before me. Yeah, but I was the first professional extreme athlete, I would say. I'm not sure.
Mm-hmm.
It's always weird to say that you're something first. You never know, but
yeah.
That's what others told me.
So do you have maybe the urge right now to give something back to the company? Of course, you said that you have, and do you have the urge maybe to give something back to the kids that are trying to do something similar that you did?
Of course, like when it comes to company, I think I'm still giving them back, and I'm like I said, I live for Red Bull, and I'll give my everything to give them what they need these days, and that is actually my job now. So I'm still playing, and I'm still doing what I love. How do you say, play to live, or yeah?
It's a great way to live.
Yeah. It's
great.
The only way.
It sounds great on paper. I don't know.
I mean, it's hard, of course. I constantly have to pitch and constantly hear, no, that's not what we want. And like, out of 100 things that you pitch
to whom?
To Red Bull.
To Red Bull.
Yeah, to other countries, to headquarters, to everyone that I know. Like, you have to hustle. And giving back to biking community, first I started with speeches, then that turned into a book that the idea was, well, I want to give this book to young kids they're gonna read it, and they're gonna realize that they can do it too. Mm-hmm. That was one thing that of paying back towards.
So right now you are giving them wings.
I'm still. I mean, it's not what I imagined yet. Like my goal to give back to community would be to build a camp for extreme sports that I never had.
Okay.
That is one of my goals that I want to create here in Croatia, and then I would feel like that would be the full circle.
Yeah, when you think what Red Bull did with you, so they were so unselfish. They said to you, I'm going to give you everything you need to try to realize and to accomplish your goal. It was so unselfish act.
It's the only company that does that.
And of course, when you right now when you have this ability to put yourself in the shoes of those kids that are growing up here right now in Zagreb, and maybe wanted to do something like you did, and you really know deeply the exchange, what the exchange can give to someone. So when you know that someone gave you so unselfishly, and that it changed your life, really, it is not just a saying, but it really changed your life. Do you think maybe that doing something for others, that Red Bull did for you will give you maybe this fulfillment and maybe become your next obsession?
The thing about Red Bull is, when I was starting, it was always Red Bull is the one who approaches you, not the other way around.
Okay.
And I think that's a great thing, because if Red Bull approaches you and you want Red Bull, there's nothing you can do to get that Red Bull helmet. But the only thing you can do is work on yourself.
Yeah.
So it really makes you focus on what you really want, and if you're good enough, Red Bull will come. So it's not like you're not starting to do something because of Red Bull. You're doing something because of yourself, and then Red Bull comes. So
it's a great deal.
That's the best.
It's a win-win scenario. Yeah.
Yeah,
it's a win-win scenario.
If you give your best for yourself, Red Bull will come. But if you knew that Red Bull will come, if you do something for Red Bull, then it's not as pure as the first way of doing it. And what else you ask? Giving to others. Yeah.
Right now, maybe you cannot help them financially as much as Red Bull.
Why I mentioned this is because I rarely see kids who are totally devoted to something like that.
Fanatically.
And that's why it's really hard to find someone like that these days. Of course there are kids like that, but it's hard to find it. Especially now with all the internet and cell phones and such a, you can easily get whatever you want online. But before you had to take your bike, go out and experience it for yourself. But now you can see it on TV, and now the level is. When I was a kid and when we saw something on TV, it was still like possible for us in our mind. That's why we took our bikes and went outside to try it. But now when kids see the level of riding or any extreme sports, it's so far that they can even imagine themselves doing it. Yeah. So they don't even start.
Yeah.
So it's really tricky.
It is. Yeah. And right now, of course, you are trying to find your new obsession. And can you tell me, and can you tell the audience, maybe what does your everyday looks like? What does your usual day looks like right now?
Well, lately I looking at Casey's videos and his idea of waking up early. I'm trying to wake up every day at 5:55.
Okay. 5:55.
5:55.
3 5s.
Yes.
Okay. So he's waiting. He's waking up at 5:55.
No, he's waking up in between 4 and 5.
Okay.
I decided 5:55. It's kind of early, but it's still.
So for the people who don't know, you are speaking about Casey.
Casey Neistat.
Neistat, yeah.
Yeah.
He's a famous vlogger.
Yeah, he's a big YouTuber and gladly one of my friends. And I realized that all my life I was always waiting for something. Oh, it's gonna happen. Oh, I'm still young. And now I'm 33 and I'm sick and tired of, oh, it's gonna happen. Oh yeah, I'm still. No, it's not gonna happen if I don't get up and do something about it. So I'm just trying to wake up around 5:55. If I don't snooze or whatever, then I read a book, go to my computer, do emails and stuff like that. Work out or run, take out my dog, and then I have breakfast, and then...
So you work out in the morning?
Mostly in the morning, yeah.
Mostly.
Or twice a day, like in the morning do something, then afternoon do something. Yeah.
That's great.
Because I also try. My apartment is like half gym. I just think that when you have a gym at home, it's better to do every day 20 minutes of something than prepare once a week or twice a week. Like get ready, go to the car, drive to the gym, change, work out, change again. It's
especially in a big city, it can be a time consuming.
Yeah, so I don't know. I feel like I wake up, I feel like working out, I do a quick like 20-minute workout, I shower, and I'm ready to go on my next...
you're ready for the day.
Yeah, and then after that, always like pen and paper, write down, okay, what are my goals for this day?
You do it in the morning or you do it the night
I
before?
do it like after reading, when I sit like emails and pen and paper, I put dots like what I have to do, and sometimes it's one thing, sometimes there's nothing. I just decide that I'm not going to do anything, and then I feel better, because if I don't make a plan and I don't do nothing, I feel really bad. But if my plan is to do nothing, it's a different feeling.
Yep.
So I'm trying always to do something that's gonna, like, at least the smallest step towards my goals.
Yeah.
And then one day I'm gonna reach it. So I'm not even.
Yeah. A lot of people are saying that they are interested in the process. They're interested in the journey, not just the reaching the end goal. So when you reach the end goal, you
then you have to find another goal.
Set another goal.
Yeah.
Set another goal. So it is really the best way to go about it is to set a goal, maybe a goal that is above your comfort level right now, so that you become a new person by reaching it. You gain a new skills by reaching that goal, and you just go there with the philosophy of Japanese philosophy, Kaizen, 1% on 1 promille better.
It's true, but now when you mention goals and putting goals, like making goals for yourself, I was just listening Jordan Peterson the other day. And
I'm reading his book right now.
Yeah, 20 rules.
12 rules for life.
Yeah, I read that. And he mentioned an interesting thing about the goals, that the goals become your judge, because the ideal how did he say the ideal that you made for yourself, like that goal that you make for yourself can judge you, and if the goal is too big, it can become an enemy. That's what he said.
Wow.
So you have to really be careful with goals, but then again, because now I'm expecting from myself so much that sometimes I feel really bad because I don't see it yet happening. So I always try to have like easy goals, reachable goals that can give me that good feeling.
It is a great way to have a vision, but also to have weekly goal, daily goals, weekly goals, monthly goals. So you can really, how can I say, separate this big vision into small little steps, so that you feel really that you are making a progress every single day. It is really, really important. If you just set for yourself, 2-year goal, and you will not have a drive enough to start working on it right now. You need to really make it a small steps.
Yeah, and I feel sometimes I would change the goal with just the idea of where I want to be, and not choose a way how to get there.
Mm-hmm.
And another thing about goals I wanted to say is, and that's also what Jordan Peterson said, and I love it. It's like he said, when you don't create a plan and goals for yourself, it's like being in a fog, and so you feel totally okay with yourself, because you're just floating, go with the flow, nothing happens, and you cannot really judge yourself. But if you put goals on a paper and you don't reach those goals, you feel really bad. So a lot of people, they don't want to put goals on a paper because it's easier to live without goals and not judge yourself and realize that you're actually doing a bad job of playing a game of life than putting those goals on a paper and realizing that in those 2 years you didn't reach any goal, and then it can wake you up. Or
I will try to tell you a little bit about my modus operandi right now, so to see if it is something similar to yours. So I have this feeling, I have this idea in which direction I want to go. So this is why I started this podcast. This is why I started this creating this brand. I still don't have enough clarity of what is it that I'm trying to accomplish, but I have a sense, I have a feeling in what do I need to do to give me more clarity in the future. So I don't know, I created a profile on Facebook and on Instagram, and I just put those dumb quotes there. I don't know what I'm trying. This is what I did at first.
Mm-hmm.
And then I thought to myself, okay, I wanna just sit down and speak to the people like yourself. I wanna speak with you, I wanna learn from you, I want the audience to learn from both of us, especially from the guests, from the people that really accomplished something in their lives. They're not just talking about it, they're really doing it. They're out there and they're doing it. So I'm just moving in that direction, and I still don't have a super clear picture about what I'm going to accomplish. And I think that this is fine also, because with action, a lot of people are stopped by a lack of clarity of what they want to do, and they're stopped by the lack of confidence, or maybe the fear is stopping them to go in that
there's
direction.
A quote, I'm not sure who said it, but it says like, inspiration is for amateurs. So I would say it's quite true, because when you're an amateur, you're waiting for the inspiration, then the inspiration comes and you do something about it. But when you are a professional or trying to be someone who's responsible, you're gonna start acting or doing actions, and then the process will inspire you and give you the direction and everything else that you were waiting while you were doing nothing.
Mm-hmm.
So I feel the same thing. Like sometimes I'm sitting by myself trying to be creative, but there's no like will, there's no inspiration, there's no motivation. I'm like doing nothing, and then I have to rationally force myself to do something, and after I start doing that something, the inspiration, motivation comes along.
Yeah, I
so
agree.
Like just don't wait for anything.
Action is the antidote to
action,
all the
action,
problems.
Reaction. That's
all the problems. Action, really. But how to make yourself to do something, that is a different thing. And I think that one of the biggest things that we are striving for, if we want to live a life above average and really be of benefit to our society, is that we need to gain a level of self-control that is really unusual to the people around ourselves. So I see that only the people that gain really, really high levels of self-control or self-discipline are the ones who are achieving more for themselves and for the society that they are part of.
I would say self-awareness, and that's the first step, and then everything else just follows. If you're aware, you're going to be aware of your bad habits, good habits, and you're just going to work it out somehow.
Yeah, but when you say, I hear Gary Vaynerchuk speak a lot about self-awareness, and he always says after it, but I don't really know how to teach you how to be more self-aware. So do you have maybe some kind of a tip, idea, advice for the people? How can they get more self-aware?
I don't know.
You see,
I know when I was a kid, like they say, oh, there's a little voice in your head telling you. I just start listening that, and I think everybody can everybody have that voice, but the question is how big is your ego? So if you start listening to your voice, make your ego less, and awareness will come. I think I would say that is the way to do it, because I think even the worst possible monster has like that little voice in his head, but his ego is so big that he doesn't want to listen to that voice. But if you're now hearing that, just embrace that idea, and if you're walking down the street and you have a piece of paper that you don't need anymore, and you just throw it away because there's a garbage man coming every night, like, okay, the garbage man will pick it up, and the idea always is like, it's his job, like it's a stupid way of thinking, but I'm sure that that's not right thing to do. So next time, try with not throwing that piece of paper on a street. Just try with that piece of paper, and then from that paper it's gonna be like, I don't know, get up when there's someone in a bus that wants to sit, or when you're driving a car, just give someone advantage before you, so there is no traffic jam. Or I don't know, you can apply that or listen to that voice in every situation.
Slight changes.
So the more you listen to that voice, the more you're gonna react, and the more you're gonna see the reaction from others, and I think you're gonna feel better. You're gonna vibrate better. People will love you more, and then your ego will be less and less, and you're gonna be happier. It's like chain reaction, but it all starts with it's butterfly effect.
Yep. I always say, because we are social animals, I always say that one of the most important tools that we have in our arsenal is communication. And when you know that first communication is really communication with yourself, as you just said it earlier. So we are always asking questions to ourselves and trying to give an answer to ourselves. So this conversation really is an ongoing conversation in our heads, and it never stops.
I mean, it's called thinking.
Yeah, it's called thinking, of
course.
Course.
Can you think without a question?
I don't think so. I don't think so. Yeah. So, did you maybe... so when this conversation... is going on in your head, and when those feelings are there, and people say that concentrated thought becomes emotion, and it becomes emotion in your body, and of course afterwards it transforms it into actions, into your behavior. Did you ever try to put your thoughts and your feelings down on paper, maybe in some kind of form of diary or something like this, and revisit this on a paper, I don't know, 1 week from that day, or 1 month from that day, in the future?
I've never done something like dictionary in that way. I think I was always overthinking, like since day one. I was always analyzing every move that I make, which sometimes that's really bad, because you can never relax.
Yep.
And maybe that was also one of the reasons why I started riding bikes. So maybe the bikes weren't my obsession because I loved bikes. Maybe the bikes were my obsession because I found peace in madness. I don't know. But since I was always analyzing everything in that way, I was always analyzing my emotions and my actions. So I always tried to do everything in a way that I wouldn't feel bad after all, because I know the teacher said to my mother when I was in elementary school, oh, he's a really, like, he's full of energy and he does a lot of bad things, but once I say something to him, he never does it again. And now when I think back about it, I hate the feeling of guilt. It's the worst feeling for me, and because of that, I cannot even like have a fake ticket to a festival, because
Really?
if somebody catches me, I it's the worst feeling. Like, I would rather buy a ticket than ever try to
Really?
smuggle or like anything.
Yeah.
I hate that guilt feeling.
Yeah.
I just
Maybe this was something that your parents instilled in you.
Maybe they showed me that the guilt is like
the
worst thing ever, and I listened to them. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know what happened to me, and while I was unaware of myself, and they were raising me. But for me, guilt is the worst. Like, I cannot sleep if there is a guilt. So I always try to have a clear conscience, and I even have a cricket from Pinocchio under the glass bell on my desk as a reminder, like, always have a clear conscience.
Great.
I don't know, and so far it gave me the way of thinking gave me good life. So I don't know.
Yeah.
Should work.
Yeah.
For others as well.
Yeah. So what I really try to do with this show, it sounds super complex. So we are talking about that things right now. So the idea is to really help people become the best version of themselves, whatever does that mean. So to really try to fulfill their potentials and use their gifts, use their talents to really be as much of a benefit to the society that are near them, or to the environment near them, and of course, if the potential is really, really big, to make a big shift on the global scale. Of course, why not? So you said, if I had the confidence to dream bigger and to set bigger goals to myself, I wouldn't accomplish these goals so soon. And I have few questions here. So what is your relationship with confidence right now? And so this will be the first question, and then I will ask the next one.
Well, now I think I can accomplish anything that I set my mind to. The only question, like I said, is like, what do I really want? But I'm trying to be really honest with me when it comes what I really want. Like, if I want something really bad, then I question that again, like, why do I want it? And I'm really trying to see what are the real deep reasons behind that. Like, I wanted to, and I still thinking about studying architecture and going to study again this summer. But then I want to know why I want it. Like, is it the idea that drives me? Is it the idea that architects are like doctors? Is it the idea that I can change the world? Is it the idea that I need to run away from my old me? Like, I'm really trying to
think things through. Yeah.
To see the deepest reasons why I want something, and I'm giving myself time to get the clear answer to whatever I want, and once I realize what I want, like nobody will stop me until I
So what gave you this confidence right now in this stage of life that you say to yourself, I can really accomplish anything? And this is something that I really feel for myself right now. I feel that like this is everything that is around us, that is some kind of illusion, and that I can really push something that it will pop on the other side. I don't know.
It in my head it's so simple. Like if I want to be a surgeon, like I just follow the steps backwards until this day, and then I just have to follow those steps forward.
Yeah.
Like of course it's gonna be 8 years studying, and then I don't know how many years volunteering or working in hospital, like cleaning sheets or whatever. But if you're devoted to that idea, like sooner or later, like how can you compete with someone who is obsessed with that, with something? Like he's gonna think 24/7 about that. He's gonna, like, especially these days, you can learn whatever you want. Like it's the best time to be alive. I don't know. It's amazing. And what gave me a confidence is when I started, everybody told me like, what are you doing? Like biking doesn't exist. Like that type of biking that you do doesn't exist here.
Yeah.
And I never saw that as, oh, I'm gonna show you that I can do it. Like I don't support that idea, trying to prove something. I support the idea that I just want something and nothing else matters. Like, but also be responsible, of course. If I say, oh, I want to be an astronaut, like, okay, let's be real.
Yeah.
Again, but wishing that I wanna, like I said, my confidence was big, so I wanted to succeed in biking, but it wasn't. Hey, Echo, quiet. But it wasn't big enough to wish that I want to be the best in the world. So my confidence was, and I remember me wishing that, and I said to myself, I only want to be part of this professional mountain bike world, and that was my goal, and I was driving towards that.
Do you know why?
Because I didn't believe I can compete with the best guys. I didn't believe I can compete with them. I didn't believe I have the
what it takes.
Not skills, but I didn't have like the ramps, the conditions to be competitive when it comes to being the best. And I think that's all part of the confidence. If I had a confidence that I can wish to be the best, then my actions would be different, and I would prioritize skill and learning those tricks in the best possible way and pushing the limits. Like I would organize everything so I can reach it, and I'm sure I would reach it. But then my confidence was like, you know what? Like there's no sport in Croatia when it comes to mountain bike freeride or any extreme sport. So I would be happy if I can only be part of that world. And that's how it, like, and that was at the end what I did. I wasn't the best in the world, but I was part of that world, and I knew the best riders, I knew all the companies and people, and you
learned a lot about a lot of things during the way.
Everything.
You learned a lot, and you met a lot of people. You made great connections for yourself and for the life that is going to come for you right now.
It was the best school.
Yeah, and maybe the best things that came out of it are not just those new skill sets, those new knowledge, this new knowledge, but of course all the people that you met along the way.
Of course, but I have to say, beside all those great things and travel and bikes and experience, I have to say I also had 8 surgeries. So I had like two surgeries of my leg. I had 2 spine surgeries. I had 2 surgeries of my knee. I broke my hand, I broke my neck, I twisted my fingers and ankles, and I was...
So how does your body feel right now?
It feels great, when you wake
sometimes. Up every day,
it's hard to get up.
You need to put some oil in there.
Yeah, sometimes I do.
Don't look like a robot to yourself.
So everything has a price.
Yeah.
I had really ups and downs when it comes to reaching those things, but when, like I said, when you're obsessed with something, you just brush dust off you and then just continue.
You're willing to pay the price.
Okay,
you're willing to pay the price.
And of course every injury I knew exactly why it happened, so it was the biggest lesson ever. Like, I learned so much from my injuries, even more than from my success. So. Yep,
from the failures more than from the success. I feel that this talk can be an ongoing. I have millions of questions for you, but I will be considerate with your time. You said that one of the first things that you do when you wake up is you take a book and you read something, and this wasn't something that you did and that you loved to do maybe when you were younger. So why is it that you are having this habit and this routine in your life right now?
Well, first of all, it was what my sensei told me. Like, you know what? I asked him, like,
who is your sensei?
It's one guy who lived in Japan.
Yeah,
you might heard of him, but we're gonna talk about it later.
Okay.
I want to keep it confidential.
Okay.
It's one really wise and great person that I admire. He has a lot of knowledge, and he acquired in Japan. And I just asked him, like, I want to be successful. I want to be better. What should I do? And he just told me, well, from now on, you're going to wake up every morning at 7 and read a book for 20 minutes. Then you're going to go out and run for 4 kilometers. And that was back in the day when I was still riding my bike. Like, no matter what, like, you can sleep on Mondays, but since your competitions are over weekends, wake up every morning at 7, no matter what. If you're going out, you can go out, you can... Oh, there's my dog wants to come sit with us.
Echo wants to be part of the team.
So after that, I just said, okay, like, you're the sensei. I'm gonna listen to you, whatever you say.
Mr. Miyagi.
And then I woke up and I started reading a book, and then I realized, first of all, I never read a book that's bigger than like 100 pages. And then I finished a book like 400 pages. So I'm like, oh my God, I can't believe I just read that. And it was in English. So then I realized when I started reading book every day, I had more ideas to talk about with my friends. Conversations were... like, it was more interesting to talk with my friends. My vocabulary became better and better, since I was really bad with Croatian and English. So, and the end result was like, well, there's nothing bad about it except like having like sitting or laying in your bed for 20 minutes or so. Yeah. So it's just beneficial for you. And I'm just sometimes it's a rational thing. Sometimes I really feel like reading. I don't read as much as I would love to, but at least it's it doesn't have to be.
Have you tried to listen to the audiobooks?
Not I tried, but I think to
same
be
thing.
able to be focused, I need to read. While I'm reading it, sometimes I need to even read it out loud, so
Yep.
I can watch, read, listen, and talk
And highlight something.
what I wanna remember.
Do you read the digital books or Amazon Kindle, something like this, or do you buy for yourself?
I still love the physical part of reading books,
Yeah.
like just holding a book. But then again, I read a lot of books on iPad, just PDFs that I found.
Yeah.
But I prefer physical books. Yeah.
So would it be beneficial for someone who is really stuck somewhere in life and want to make some kind of a change, and they have a patience and discipline to make the change? Do you think that it is a great tip for them to try to invest some of their time really early in the morning when the willpower is the highest, to just go about it and read something? And do you have maybe some kind of a suggestions for them where to start?
You know what? I read when I wake up just because reading makes me tired. So that's like when I wake up, I have enough energy, eyes energy to read, because I'm old. Like I slept the whole night, so I don't need to sleep, so I can focus on reading books. Usually I have issues with like reading or doing work when outside it's sunny, because I always feel like I'm missing something. So when I was studying, I always had to go. Oh, watch out, Echo. I always had to go to, like, if I wanted to study today, I would go to bed around like 6 p.m., wake up at 7 or 8 even, and then as soon as I wake up, like, drink Red Bull, and then I would be able to study for like 2 or 3 hours.
As
like
you wake
max.
up, you drink Red Bull.
Yeah, immediately. Like especially if I have to study and focus like 100%.
Yeah.
I have to sleep before studying, because if I don't sleep before studying,
you don't have enough
I
concentration
fall
and
asleep.
focus to.
When I read, I fall asleep. I need to. So I found a way how to study and how to.
Yeah, but there are
read.
a lot of ways today to study. You can watch videos, you can learn to audios, you can.
Of course, yeah.
You
I mean,
read.
a
lot of ways.
When it comes to things that I'm obsessed with, even when I'm super tired, I don't fall asleep.
Yep.
So there's something about that.
And you mentioned one thing that I think is the most important thing, and that it can really shorten this curve of learning and progressing as a human being. And this is really having a mentor in your life. And you said that you have or you had a sensei in one part of your life that really gave you some clues. What can you do to really improve your life? So what do you think? What is the part of the mentor in this whole idea of working on yourself in learning? And
I heard that even like Leonardo da Vinci and like all those, even, I mean, I'm not sure about Steve Jobs, but like every super successful guy had a mentor, like, and I don't know why these days that's like weird, or it's not something.
It's not common sense.
Yeah, it's
not common sense.
Because, I mean, there's nothing like, imagine being a kid who can come to me and ask me about biking and my experience. Like I could really guide him really well and let him know what's in front of him. So imagine if we all could have someone who experience exactly what we want to experience. Of course, mentoring doesn't mean that he has to go exactly the same way, but when there is a question, you can give him an answer.
Yeah, and I think that the effect is the same as we were a child, because you have a person of authority, and if you are near that person and you feel the way he thinks, you feel the way he behaves, he makes
and you
decisions,
try to copy, yeah.
and we really it is called learning by osmosis. So this is the best way that we learn. And why do we become an average of the 5 people that we spend the most time with? It's because of this thing that we learn by osmosis. So we are copying the people that are really near us every single day. So it is really
yeah, and be careful.
Big decision.
Who your friends are.
Who your friends are,
exactly,
and who you're spending your time with. Really, a millionaire or a successful athlete cannot hang out with some, I don't know, losers.
I mean, that's totally true. I even know, like, just I have some friends who are like really successful, and just talking with them, it surprised me how just simple thing that happens in my life, and I think that I'm acting accordingly towards that, and then I see their point of view, and I get really surprised, because like I never thought that I can look at it in that from that point of view as well.
Yes.
So I think it's really important, and I have to say, through my career, I was always hanging out with like older people who were like not older, like 5 years, more like 10 to 15 years older than me, who were guiding me, and I was a lot of my friends, they tell me like, oh, you grew up too early, and I think there is kind of a truth, because I was copying people that I was hanging out with. So imagine being 15 years old, I was hanging out with 30-year-olds. So imagine like how was it when I was 25? I was hanging out with like 40-year-olds, and and the topics that a smart and a good person that's 40 years old, like the topics that he likes to talk about, it's like it's a big deal for you being 25.
You know, for me,
and then your friends are talking about just, I don't know, some.
For me, we can learn only from 2 sources. First one is nature, and the second one is from people. Whether people in person, whether they are called mentors, whether they wrote a book, or I don't know, whether you can learn from podcasts, like this one. So we learn either from people or from nature, and I think that there are not more sources of learning. Right now, I have a really big privilege to be around a person that is one of the wealthiest people here in Croatia. He is, I think, top 10 the most richest person in Croatia, and
Thank you.
And I have an opportunity to spend some time with him on a daily basis, and what I learned the most from him is just how he can open this box for me. You said that you believe that you cannot be the best in the world, and when someone paints you a picture that is above the picture that you can imagine it for yourself, you think to yourself, oh man, if he can imagine it, if he can do it, and I can do it.
Just do the way you think. If you change the way you think, you change the way you act, you change the way you live, you change your life.
Yes, of course. And when someone who is really near to you every single day, I mean, you can feel how they what is their attitude, or how they make decisions, how they think, what is their modus operandi. You really see, oh man, but I can do this also.
Mm-hmm.
It's not there is any difference from me or from that person. There is just stack of experiences and time, more knowledge, and nothing more.
Yeah, we all born naked.
Yeah, and I loved when you said, okay, so you wake up and you read something, so you work on your mind, and you do something physical, so you work on your body. Working on your body, of course, it works on your mind also. So those are two of the best things that you can do when you wake up. Do something for your mind and move your body.
And it's sometimes even the training is the hardest part. So when you're done with it in the morning, everything else just feels like easy.
Yep.
If you leave that workout for later that day, like you become
Especially
tired and I'm like, oh man, I don't want to.
Especially when you do cold showers in the morning.
Yeah.
If you do something like this.
Yeah, that's when it's summertime. Yeah, after the run, there's nothing better.
Yeah. I saw a few times in your stories on Instagram. Maybe this is my favorite idea about working on yourself, because it is so simple. It is from Will Smith.
Yeah.
He was speaking to some kids, I don't know, in elementary or high school, and he said to me, listen to me kids, listen to me kids, the secret to life is running and reading.
Yeah, I think it was
so
Disney
simple.
Kids Disney Award, something like that.
I love those simple ideas that really can make a big benefit in our lives.
Mm-hmm.
It is really, really simple.
Yeah, I saw that, and that stuck with me for a long time. I mean, still, whenever I run, I always remember when it's hard. When I want to quit, I just like, you know what? You came here to run, and now run. Like you run towards your like what you said you're gonna run, and then you learn how to push when it's hard.
You develop self-control, self-discipline. Yeah. Mislav, it was really a pleasure to chat with you, and it was a pleasure to hang out with Echo.
Oh, also, it was a pleasure being here.
So, one more question. One more question for the end. So, the name of the brand is LOOD, Life of Our Dreams, and on Croatian, LOOD means crazy. So I think that we need to be a little bit crazy to really go after our dreams and to imagine something bigger for ourselves. And of course, LOOD, the acronym on English, stands for Life of Our Dreams. So can you tell me, with everything that you learned till now in your life, what does really life of your dreams look like right now? If you have a blank canvas and you can put on it whatever you want, no limits, what does life of your dreams look like?
It's for me, it's kind of simple, and I just want to play to live. And I was thinking about like what I want out of life, and until now I was playing, I was riding my bike, I made a living. I'm playing with animations, and it's something what I love, and I still feel like that's playing, and I can live from it. And I just want to continue to do that. I don't even believe in, and I don't want to get retired, because like, what's the idea of being retired? I want to, as long as I live, I want to play and do something that I enjoy.
Yeah, express yourself.
And especially if I'm good at it, that somebody's willing to give me a fee for it. I mean, that's it. That's the point for me now, because we're living in a capitalism, and of course you need money to survive. So beside that, I always dreamed about having my dream house. I love my place. I love to know that something is my spot on this earth. And the idea of family, of course, and kids. And when it comes to family and kids, the relationship in between all of us, like if you figure out how to do that, and we're all satisfied, peaceful, and happy, and we all play, I think that's the life of my dream.
It sounds beautiful.
Yeah, thanks, man.
It sounds beautiful. So for the end, where can people find you online?
I think so far the Instagram is the best, and there you can, on the description, you can find my my website where you can see all my work, and there's a contact as well. So I think for now that's the best place to search for me.
Or just Google your name, and
yeah, that's also
the people,
one way of
the people
doing
will find you. And of course, I encourage people to follow you.
Thank you.
And to get some inspiration from your life so far, and of course they can find some kind of a, they can find value from yourself, from your profile, and they can be also entertained, especially by your work and by your trips with Echo. And they can follow Echo also if they want, because Echo also have an Instagram profile.
Yeah, he's posting like crazy. I don't know.
He's even more popular than you, becoming more popular than you.
He's looking at me. Like he knows what I'm talking about.
So thanks, man.
And thank you for having me.
Thank you for listening, and we will hear each other the next time.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, bye.
Bye.